Hey guys, Ty here. Just woke up from a nice little nap. We're gonna watch Cartoon Universe, and that's about it. Then we're gonna upload some videos to YouTube. So here we go. This Sunday, I'm supposed to be doing stuff, but first things first, I'm going to be up pretty much all night tonight, uploading videos, and tomorrow, or when this recording, by the time this recording comes out, I'll already be done doing what I'm doing. I need to start charging up the camera battery. Camera batteries. So I'm going to watch this first, then, that's it.
Today, I want to talk about classism in Hell, as this new sea demon really shed a lot of light on how the different species perceive each other. There are, of course, 7 rings in Hell, each modeled after one of the 7 deadly rings, and each seems to be home to a particular species of demon. Imps have long been said to be the lowest of the low, but Hellhounds always seem to be one.
I'll do this one last. I'm going to do camera next.
Treating Luna like a person so much as like a pet. The class distinctions between Hellhounds and Imps are rather unique, and neither are really better off than the other. The Hellhounds are overbred and put up for adoption, through which they mostly seem to end up as servants for well-off families. Imps are seen as the sort of humans of Hell, the most generic and basic of demon species. They seem to be in every ring of Hell so far, more so than the other species at least. The Hellhounds seem to reproduce so fast that the families can't quite support themselves in Hell's economy, and thus Hellhounds end up in adoption. But Imps had just the right balance of lifespan and reproduction rate at the low end of the hierarchy to end up being useful and end up migrating all over Hell. They seem to be the foot soldiers in every battle. They currently farm all of the food that Hell eats, and were likely involved in the construction of the actual societies of Hell as it moved through the 7 rings. They have been in other rings for so long that Imp subspecies have developed by mixing with other species over generations. In the Lust ring, for instance, there are sexy taller imps with succubus wings, something that the other imps in the other rings don't seem to have. While Hellhounds may still be treated like garbage by imps, they seem to have just not been as useful to exploit on such a large scale the way that imps have. Despite being all over the rings of Hell that we've seen so far, the most recent episode had these deep sea demons indicate that they think Blitz is from Wrath. Blitz had said before he is not from Wrath, and is much taller than the majority of the Wrath Ring imps, who Stolas describes as being small in general. Instead, I believe this was to confirm that imps as a whole do come from Wrath, but that some people haven't adjusted to the new normal of Hell, as far as imps moving to other rings and mixing with the local species. Now, above the imps and the Hellhounds, I think we would have the succubus in the hierarchy. Succubus are more or less born into the sex work industry. The work that most demons do is designed around their natural powers and interests as a species, and it seems that the succubus would much rather be doing this work than that work of imps or Hellhounds, but they are still trapped in a lifestyle built up more so around the desires of their prince, Asmodeus. Above the succubus in this hierarchy, I imagine to be the loan sharks of the Greed Ring. In many ways, the loan sharks are a separate class that isn't really involved with the power hierarchy overall. Their job seems primarily to be milking money from the other species as much as they can, and are more about sneakily maintaining as much wealth as they can, as opposed to being part of the actual economy of Hell. Above them, I would put the candle-headed Baphomets, who run the medical industry in the Sloth Ring. While they are oppressed in their own ways, just like everyone else, they seem to maintain an existence in a beautiful location where everyone else is at the mercy of the sloth-like lifestyle, whereas in the Pride Ring and the Wrath Ring, life seems to be pretty difficult. From here, there's 2 entries that are kind of hazy. The Earthborn sinners in Hell are said to generally outrank the native species, though they themselves are outranked by overlords who can be native-borns as well. I explained that because in the most recent episode, the little information we got about the Deep Sea Demons of the Envy Ring indicates that the Deep Sea Demons are a class above the general population of sinners. For a lot of human history, I think sinners as a whole weren't technically a higher class, and that early eras of hell had the Pride Ring being the way hell is traditionally described, a place of torment. I imagine that the native life of the Pride Ring reacted violently to immortal sinners appearing when human souls began to pass over. The sinners themselves would also be at war with everyone coming in, each with their own unique powers, and all of them just generally afraid of each other. Over time, however, the societies would have started to form in the Pride Ring, and from here they are considered a class above most native demons because of their immortality. However, their life in the Pride Ring is considered pretty horrible. Like with the natives, every system is designed to enslave them, but they can fall deeper and deeper into financial addiction because of their inability to die, allowing them to ingest more and more addictive substances like Angel does. As a whole, their quality of life is pretty low, with the overlords living in luxury while everyone else suffers and is distracted. The deep-sea demons of the Envy Ring so far mostly appear in places like Ozzy's nightclub, a nice event that Millie and Moxie could afford, but a place that these deep-sea demons could probably afford more often, as it seems pretty high class all in all, what with the Prince of the Lust Ring enjoying his nights there. In the most recent episode, the Deep-Sea Mother gave the impression that the Envy Ring is a safe place for sea demons, a sort of suburb. Most fans believe the entire ring to be an ocean because its prince is Leviathan, the biblical sea monster, and thus these deep-sea demons have a home that the other demons likely can't enter. Even the sharks from the ocean of the Greed Ring may not be able to survive in the deep-sea atmosphere of the Envy Ring, where things are probably a lot darker, especially with its purple sky. This would make it an isolated place where, even if just suburb-like, it's still a step above the state of living most of the sinners have in the Pride Ring, even in the capital of Pentagram City. The isolation allows them to have their nicer community overall, and their primary app, as seen on Blitz's phone, appears to be social media based, with its logo resembling TikTok. With them being the Envy Ring, I believe that the social media of hell, and before that the magazines and such, were controlled by the Prince Leviathan and used to turn his own people into minor celebrities, with a lifestyle inaccessible to land-walking demons of other rings, so something they could only ever see on screen or in print. This would give them a particular isolation and also explain why, in addition to their superiority, they seem to be less aware overall of the migration of imps, assuming them all to be from Wrath, and why they also used a specious term such as fire toad. The mother indicates that this is common, and that while they don't like to say this slur to an imp, they have no problem saying it behind their back, as that is polite. So deep-sea demons, despite their short lifespans, are still somewhat on par or even above sinners in certain ways as far as a hierarchy of hell goes. Above the general sinners and deep-sea demons, we of course have the Overlords, which is traditionally an earthborn sinner who controls a major industry in the Pride Ring, or has elsewise accumulated a lot of power, but also seems to refer to certain native-born demons that have risen to power as well. Moxie's own father Crimson is perhaps an overlord in his own sense, as while he is beholden to the loan sharks, he is the one interacting directly with the community and exploiting it for profit, causing imp gang wars and such. Above the overlords, we have currently two forms of royalty. The lowest is the Ars Goetia, 72 noble demons who help with certain duties in hell, including cursing its crops, but also seem to have
Sorry guys, it's just that it's so hot outside. I have to do stuff, and I'm trying to get stuff done with. Okay. After this, we're gonna do that.
Have a hand in the slow conquering of the Earth. Within the Goetia family, there is its own hierarchy. While there is only 72 official titles, the extended families of the Goetia seem to hold some power relative to the nearest relation they have in one of those 72 roles. My favorite current theory is that the 9 kings of the Ars Goetia are spaced throughout the 9 circles of hell, which appear to be 7 cities in the Pride Ring, different from the 7 rings of hell, which are physically stacked on top of each other. Above them, of course, are the 7 princes ruling those 7 rings, which, despite their titles, outrank the kings in the Ars Goetia. The 7 princes are led by Lucifer, who is himself a fallen angel and has ultimate power in hell. While royals like Stolas are weak to angelic weapons, Lucifer is immune to their power and can only be smited by a higher-ranking angel than him from heaven. Just below him is his wife Lilith and his daughter Charlie, who still have power over the other 6 princes, but presumably could lose that power easily if Lucifer took it away from them, particularly Lilith, who isn't born from Lucifer the way that Charlie is. It makes me wonder if Charlie could one day rise up in terms of angelic power above her dad, and perhaps be the one who has to smite him. In order to take over hell. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts on the hierarchy of hell in the comments down below.
That video's uploaded now. Mm. 10 hours ago that was uploaded. Okay, now I'm done with that now. Now time for me to upload the videos to YouTube because we got plans this Sunday. I can't wait to do them.